I believe in truth, but I'm also a big fan of justice.
Hello, my friends. My name is Stevie Cade, and welcome to Film Trigger. Zack Snyder's Justice League is just around the corner. It's going to be released on HBO Max in just a few days, so I thought what better time than to dive back into the theatrical release of Justice League, also known as Justice League, and give this movie an honest review. But before we dive into my review for this film, if you could, hit that subscribe button and the little bell ding thing so you get notified every time I upload a new video. So without further ado, let's dive into my review for Justice League. Before I dive into what I like about this movie, I do want to let you guys know that my integrity behind doing this review is to actually stay away from all the controversy that surrounds this film. Not because I don't think it's important, I think it's very important, but my opinion about this movie has been very skewed by the things that surrounded it. So I want to give this an honest review and let the true colors of this film come through on its own. When I first saw this movie in theaters, when it first came out, I was super pumped, super excited about it. Batman v Superman was like top tier, like one of my favorite movies of all time, and still is. I actually didn't mind it all that much, but I also like bright, shiny things and am very easily amused, which is what I think this movie's audience is. Like, this movie's made for that type of audience, so I fit right in. Based off of my first experience, I did enjoy the film. So here are some reasons why. It works as a standalone. Like, if you were to pick this movie out of any universe, any Snyderverse, anything that came before it, and they just dropped this movie, boom. It works as a standalone film because there's no real expectations for it. And I use the term works loosely. It's a DC animated film wrapped in human skin. Okay, we got to see a DC animated Justice League movie on screen with real people. Cool, okay. Nerd me really enjoyed that part. You boil everything down and you still have all these superheroes that you've come to know and love doing superhero things on screen, and well, just sit back, enjoy some popcorn, and shut your mind off, and this movie kind of works. So I will give it the credit that they took a DC animated movie and put flesh on it, and there it is. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into some other elements I liked about this film. Actually, the opening credits I did enjoy. The song everybody knows, that Leonard Cohen song performed by Sigrid, I believe, in this movie. It kind of catfished me a little bit, gave me hope that, okay, well, this is going to be a continuation in tone from the previous movie. It gives us a glimpse into the heaviness that's happened since Superman's death. So that mixed with the song, I think it worked very well. And as I said before, it kind of tricked me into thinking, okay, we're going to get this darker movie I've been waiting for. Well, let's continue with the review. And it also contains this beautiful shot that puts Zack Snyder's name as the director of this film.
Everybody knows.
Which is actually a shot that Zack Snyder shot, so at least they got that right. Maybe that's what they meant. Directed by Zack Snyder. This specific shot was directed by him. Oh, geez. Poor Zack. So for all intents and purposes, this opening sequence worked for me. Now, the fight scene in Heroes Park, which is another Zack Snyder scene, actually. It's heavily altered, but it's still very impactful on the narrative of just how powerful Superman actually is, and how scary an evil Superman would be. Seeing Cyborg, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and the Flash go up against Superman, who is the bad guy in the scene, is a very new thing for us to see as an audience. It's a very different way to look at Superman, but it does leave me to wonder what Zack Snyder's original intention is for this scene. I hope this scene dives deeper into what is actually going on in Superman's head. But that's all speculation and not part of this review. I gotta keep myself from doing that. Moving forward. Also, another thing that I did like about this movie was actually the Batman rooftop scene. Now, I know this scene gets a lot of flack. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching Batman doing Batman things in Gotham. I really enjoy the way it looks and its overall aesthetic. Like, if there was a solo Batman film shot like this, I believe it would actually work. I think they did capture a good Batman moment here. Now, the rest of the scene, things don't quite add up, which I'll get to here in just a little bit. But as for this scene itself, I remember being in the theaters thinking, wow, man, this looks really good. Like this, I feel like I'm in Gotham. This feels like a good Batman moment. to be honest with you, there's not much more I like about this movie. But there are a couple things I just want to give a little shout out to that I thought looked really good. Like, for instance, Diana Prince's shawl that she wears when she's in the Batcave. I think this is a good look for Wonder Woman. It's a very casual Wonder Woman, ready to fight, but I'm not fighting right now, so I'm kind of in my relaxed mode look. It's just very classy and dignified. And I also might get a lot of flack for this, but I did enjoy the lasso of truth bit with Aquaman sitting on the lasso. That was a fun moment. I genuinely laughed at that scene. All right, well, that's that. So moving right along with what I'm on the fence about when it comes to this movie, going back to that Batman rooftop scene I was talking about earlier. Yeah, so even though I did like the way it visually looked, and I thought it was a good Batman moment, you know, Batman, as I said, Batman doing Batman things in Gotham, it's really just a scene of giving us a quick exposition of the parademons and the mother boxes and hinting at Steppenwolf and all that jazz. It's good info, placed in an entertaining scene, but it comes across as just very forced. Which brings me to the filler of this movie. This movie has decent fight scenes with a shit ton of filler to get us between fight scene to the next fight scene. But the reason why I'm on the fence about it is because all these filler scenes are cohesive enough to keep my interest from fight scene to fight scene. So I guess what I'm saying is Warner Brothers succeeded at their goal of taking a deep, rich, darker story and turning it into a family-friendly popcorn flick. Good job, Warner Brothers. Thanks. All right, moving right along with what I don't like about this movie. And there's a lot. First of all, why the fuck would you start this movie showcasing just how bad your CGI is with Superman? That little like phone video podcast thing they do at the beginning of this film. I don't. First of all, it's unnecessary. It doesn't need to be in this movie. You could take this cold open right out of the movie and it wouldn't affect anything. But not only that, but it really presents the shitty CGI mustache removal job that Warner Brothers did here. I guess it's just Warner Brothers saying, okay, be prepared for this fucked up face for the rest of the movie. Not the greatest of ideas. There's a lot of bad ideas in this movie, but starting it off that way was an even worse idea.
A man I knew used to say that hope is like your car keys. Easy to lose, but if you dig around, it's usually close.
Another thing I don't like about this movie is Steppenwolf. He's there. Yeah, he's there. He's doing things. That's good. Good for him. Let's talk about the way he looks, because I, like most people, have watched the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman, where they show Steppenwolf in his actual armor. So what the fuck is this thing? Why would they change that? Was that previous look so bad that they had to come up with this weird rubbery looking I don't know what the fuck it is. It looks bad. Like, it's just rubbery. His whole face is just very rubbery, like he's wearing a fucking rubber mask. And he's also just not an intimidating villain. Nothing he does really makes me worried for the Justice League. He sounds like he could be somewhat villainous. The guy who plays Steppenwolf, Kieran Hines, did a good job with his voice acting. I don't know if he re-recorded things for the Justice League. I'm not 100% on that. If you do know the answer to that, let us know in the comments below. But as far as I know, he just recorded one thing and then they just chopped up his lines to fit whatever narrative they were trying to have in this movie. So all of these intimidating, villainous lines that he had just didn't work. They were just randomly put in there to make it sound like he knew what he was doing. He doesn't really come across as a villain as much as just a grumpy grandpa who's telling humans to get off his lawn. But it should be known that Kieran Hines actually did go on record and say, and I'm going to paraphrase here, something along the lines of, the movie he saw was not the movie he worked really hard on, and he hopes that the version he worked hard on will see the light of day. And it's going to, on HBO Max in just a few days. But the character Steppenwolf himself, I don't have any emotional ties to him. I can't lightly root for him or understand what his integrity is. Like, oh man, he has a really good point. You know, it's still evil, but I understand why he's doing it. I don't have that at all. Nor do I hate him for how evil he is and hope Justice League murders him in the worst way possible. No, he's just there. He's just very pesky. And this movie's trying to portray him as something that's scarier than what he actually is. The Wonder Woman scene where she stops the would-be terrorists. Okay, number one, their plan is dumb. They're going to be man's best hope by sending them back to the Dark Ages, by blowing up 4 blocks in a city. Like, what? Blowing up 4 blocks of a city does not send humans back to the Dark Ages. I'm just saying, it's a bad plan. Not to mention the bomb that Wonder Woman throws up like 50 feet above this building does not explode in a floor block radius. Should have still exploded like half that building's top off at least. No, it doesn't. Nothing exciting happens there. And number 2, this entire setup is a paint-by-numbers bad guy sequence. The only thing missing was a man petting his cat, twirling his mustache, and laughing menacingly. It's just a poor Wonder Woman fight scene, and it's only there just to be, well, filler. It's just like the rest of this fucking movie. It's filler. All right, I love Justice League. And speaking of filler, let's talk about the pointless Russian family. You know what I'm saying. Why are we wasting our time investing interest in this particular family? What do they do to help improve the story? How do they help us in the end with the heroes? They don't do anything. Nothing. There's no point in this family being in this movie. They could have added more perspective, of all the atrocities that's going on around them because of Steppenwolf, but no, we don't get to see that. We just see them in their house looking out the curtains and holding a can of fucking bug spray. Bug spray? Or maybe they could have came back at the end, and given the heroes some information that would have helped destroy Steppenwolf. Like, oh, well, we saw this weakness or this, that, or the other, or something they could have done to make their presence relevant. But it's not. They have no relevancy in this film. All we got was the bug spray bit. Neat. And while we're on the topic of completely pointless bits, let's discuss the woman babbling on the news broadcast. Yeah, this was a terrible bit. And it just comes across as a very odd sequence in a very not well-placed part of the movie. This is supposed to be like a very somber part of the movie. Lois is talking to Martha. They're both missing Clark. Tonally, this bit just does not fit in this scene. And to me, it was just a waste of fucking time. Oh man, I don't want this scene to be anywhere near as dark as Zack Snyder's. Throw some random comedy in there.
And these aliens are gonna probe him? Come down to the Lakeview, and I'll stick a probe up your...
Same thing with Martha telling Lois Clark thought she was the thirstiest woman he had ever met. Why? Why are we adding these creepy-ass jokes in there? Anal probing? Lois being thirsty? I can't wrap my head around it. Joss Whedon, you had an opportunity to make a decent Justice League movie. Zack Snyder gave you plenty of stuff to use, but you decided to reshoot this and add shit like this in there. What, was that scene a little too dark? Was that scene a little too somber? You just had to pep it up with some stupid-ass jokes? No, it doesn't fucking work, man. God, none of this shit works. Almost lost my cool there. But Josh, you did shit the bed on this. Flat jokes and one-liners. Good job, man. What do you think this is? A fucking Marvel movie? I'm joking. I like Marvel too, Jesus fuck. Another aspect on this long list of things I don't like about this movie is Aquaman's visit with Mera. This just seems like a very strange way to introduce the Aquaman/Atlantean origin story. Like, it's just very forced, very just right in there. I feel like this may have worked better if, I don't know, Aquaman followed Steppenwolf there or stumbled upon it somehow. But the fact that he just randomly leaves, goes there, talks to these Atlanteans he's been ignoring his entire life, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work great for me. And this might even be a Snyder thing. I'm not 100% sure. We'll find out in a few days. But besides the exposition telling me that these people haven't met before, I feel like he's just home. I feel like he's been there 1,000 times. But Aquaman just shows up. So we have Aquaman over here learning his origin story, and you have Batman over here with his own agenda and contingency plans that he's not telling anybody about. Flash is just wandering about, being too scared to do anything. Wonder Woman is at least bridging gaps between Steppenwolf's backstory and bringing Cyborg to the team, all while Cyborg is trying to figure out what he is and how to control his new abilities. So we have all these different aspects that could lead up to a great team combining moment. A team that works well together because they know each other's strengths and weaknesses and they play to those. But we don't get that. They never really unify as a team. And that's the whole premise of this movie, is to unify this team. During the final boss battle, they're all off doing their own fucking things. They're not working well together. They all have their own agendas, doing their own separate shit, and they're not working as a team. Honestly, they're going to lose this battle until Superman shows up and, does his Superman things. But even when Superman does show up, Steppenwolf is ultimately destroyed by his own fear and parademons. because, you know, Superman can't kill anybody. That's not my Superman. Nothing pays off in this movie. Nothing is hashed out. Nothing is nurtured to play into a real storyline here. It's just superheroes doing superhero things. It's low-hanging fruit to superhero films. No one really progresses at all in this movie. Nothing. They all know each other now. I mean, it's not really a Justice League as much as just, I don't know, just new friends. Where's the heart? Where's the growth? Where is the Justice League? Why can't we get this team together? Why can't things make sense? Because we didn't start off from the right ground. The right ground would be to continue what happened in BVS and move it into this story, but we don't get that. There's no real mention of anything that happened in Batman v Superman. Well, besides that whole pesky Superman dying thing that they had to work around. Other than that, they just try to ignore everything in the Snyderverse. And that's why you get what we have here. Just no real connectivity. There's no real story being told. It just doesn't work. I mean, not even the music works. Fucking Danny Elfman, you know, I used to like you, man. But then you force this nostalgic score that has John Williams Superman and your own, Danny Elfman's own Batman themes mixed up into this, I don't know what this remix. Nobody asked for this. Well, technically Warner Brothers asked for this, but damn it, Danny, have some couth. Where did the Junkie XL score go? How did they have that conversation with Junkie XL? So we're just gonna go ahead and play the hits on this one. Thanks for your hard work, but no thanks. And that's what this movie is. It's just playing the hits. It adds nothing to the storyline that Batman v Superman was leading to. It misses the mark as a team coming together movie, and it just comes across as basic. And I guess that's what they wanted, basic, so there you go. There's your basic movie. Lois Lane, Martha, Alfred, even Silas Stone to a degree is benched in this movie, and characters that we're used to in this universe aren't even mentioned or shown, like Perry White, General Swanwick, General Swanwick.
I was way off. I knew it started with an S though.
Lex Luthor. Well, Lex Luthor showed up at the after credits scene, but let's not even talk about that. I feel like Lex Luthor's role should have been a lot bigger in this movie, considering the fact that he knew of Steppenwolf coming. He knows about the mother boxes. He could have been a huge proponent of everything that happened in this film, but they just threw him to the side, threw all the other characters to the side, and put all the main characters that did show up in the movie on the back burner. This movie is about superheroes, and we're going to give you superheroes, and just like in front of the camera. We're just going to put them there. You look at them. They're going to punch something. You clap. You give us money. And we move on with our lives. That's what this movie was. A fucking cash grab. Which brings me to a whole slew of petty points I have for this movie. First of all, the jail officer when Barry is going to visit his father in jail. Who, by the way, is Mark McClure, who played Jimmy Olsen in the original Superman movie. After Barry leaves, he reaches down, presses a button on his phone like he's contacting somebody. Who the fuck is he contacting? Did I miss this? Is there something I'm missing here? I don't see that play out anywhere else in this film. I don't know where that call or alert went. I don't know who it went to. Did it go to Batman? Is he telling Batman Barry's here? I don't fucking know. Why would Batman do... Why? I don't get it. I don't understand exactly what's happening there. I don't know why it's in the movie. Do you know? Let me know in the comments if you do. I'd really like to know. The parademon exploding and then the stain of the 3 boxes on the wall.
What the hell?
So you kill a parademon and then they give you little hints of Steppenwolf's master plan in their death splatter? Well, that's a very quick way to move the story forward, huh? Also, speaking of the parademons, Batman is fighting these parademons and mentions nothing about the nightmare sequence where he saw these parademons for the first time. If I had dreams about these terrifying things and then they showed up in real life, I would bring that shit up. Nope, never mentioned. Not once. Because fuck Batman v Superman, we're just not even going to talk about that movie. Then there's this.
You smell good.
Thanks for noticing, Lois. He's been dead for a while. Heck, I mean, I guess I would be shocked too if he smelled good. Let's show how void of hope the people are by having them kick fruit baskets. Ooh, Metropolis is in disarray. Oh my god. Wonder Woman is just as fast as Superman and the Flash, thus making the Flash kind of pointless since they don't showcase any other abilities that he has to help with this team. He's kind of pointless. Now, I know he has other abilities, but they don't showcase him in this movie. He's just the fast guy, along with 2 other really fast people. Batman's suit having a blue tint to it. That's gross. I hate the blue tint thing. Just because in the old comics they put a color highlight of blue onto the suit so you can see that it's shiny or whatever, doesn't mean his suit is blue. Then the 60s sitcom didn't help by making his suit blue and gray, and then later they added it in the fucking comic books. I don't know. I hate the gray and blue suit. I hate the fact that that's even a thing. As a matter of fact, I once bought a paint because it said Gotham Gray on it to paint my basement. It was fucking blue. I was so fucking pissed. I was like, Gotham Gray? Hell yeah, that's exactly the color I'm looking for. I painted it on there and it's fucking deep blue. What world do we live in where gray is blue when talking about Batman? Anyway, I'm getting triggered on that. The blue tint looks stupid. It's ridiculous, and hopefully they fix that in the Snyder Cut. And speaking of ridiculous outfits, Superman, your metallic padding is showing. Metallic padding in Superman's suit is just... Someone needs to calm this shit down. This aspect of the suit has grown every film. But this, the metallic padding is like cosplay level bad. Which sucks because that's not part of a reshoot. That Zack Snyder okayed that costume. The only little sliver of hope that I have is that when he okayed that costume, it was because he knew it was going to look better for the black super suit, which we will see if it does in Zack Snyder's Justice League that drops in a few days. But outside of that, it's very distracting. Overall, outside of all the horrific details that surround this film, you would think that Warner Brothers would want to produce a movie that had somewhat intelligent way to continue the story from BVS and give us a solid movie that holds some values to its characters. But it doesn't. This movie comes across as a sabotage. We're going to destroy what Snyder was doing so we can move forward with more family-friendly films. I admittedly enjoyed this movie on the first watch, and after I started studying it, I became very upset with the movie that I got. This is not the movie I was expecting to see. And essentially, that's what led to me having this channel, because I started watching all these other YouTubers talk about this potential Snyder Cut. And then I dove into that rabbit hole, and here I am today. And I've grown to hate this movie since then. But even if I try to take all that out and just watch this movie for what it is, it still comes across as weak. It comes across as very watered down, no real storyline. They're playing their hits. They're giving us key characters doing superhero things and bright, shiny flash, evil guy, dead, and that's it. There's no real value here in this movie. And for all these reasons, I'm giving this movie a fucking F.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!
There you have it, my review for Justice League. It might be a little biased, might be a lot biased, but I don't give a shit. But I tried to give this a genuine review, and it still came across as just a terrible fucking movie. So there you have it. There's my review. Let me know what your thoughts of this movie are in the comments below. Do you like it? Do you hate the previous films and think this was a better direction to go? And are you looking forward to the Snyder Cut coming out on March 18th? Let me know all those in the comments below. Also, be sure to check out some more of my videos. And as always, stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.